and affiliation, and anything else you'd like to share about the theme of today's meeting, which is Fight the Blues with Movement and Nature. So go ahead and put that in the chat box.
I just want to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded. So if you aren't speaking, please keep your line on mute.
Thank you, Adeline. Because we'll be sharing community resources, we are going to host this meeting on our Prince George's Healthcare Action Coalition website. So folks who couldn't attend will be able to learn about the great resources being shared. So today we're, once again, introduce yourself in the chat box. The theme is Fight the Blues with Movement and Nature. We're in the depths of winter. So we have some excellent speakers lined up to share how we ourselves can take care of ourselves and our families, but also sharing resources that we can share with our communities, our patients, our clients, so they can avail of this information as well. So let us get on. We're going to start with a little activity and then go into our presenters and have a Q&A. So first, just a little bit about the HEAL work group. We are the Healthy Eating, Active Living work group. We have 4 subcommittees: healthy food procurement, food as medicine, healthy food priority areas, and active living for seniors. So this is our monthly work group meeting, and then our subcommittees are working diligently, and they have their own monthly meetings to work on specific initiatives that are part of our community health improvement plan. And so Fighting the Blues with Movement and Nature, I would like to turn it over to Nikki Ham, who is joining us. If you just tell us a little bit about who you are and the connections between mental health and movement and nature.
Yes, hi. So I am Nikki Ham. I work at Bowie State University in the Department of Counseling. I have the wonderful pleasure of training and preparing school counselors, mental health counselors, community counselors to work in our schools and to work in our community, to work with everyone. And really the biggest piece that I wanted to really have an opportunity to talk about is we all know this information about mental health and physical health are really interconnected. Health is mental health and health is physical health. It is all in one because we are one body, one mind, one soul. And so if there is a disconnect, it is essential that if there's a disconnect in one area, there will be a disconnect in the other area. It's directly correlated with that. You can look at so much research. I actually did a lot of bit of research, but I won't present all that because I get excited about research. But there's a lot of research about that. I'll pop it in the link, my list of researchers, which really just speaks to, you know, one of the article that was just looking at where a therapist said, sitting down and said, so you have diabetes and depression, which came first? And the client said both. They both came first, because the question is that they are very much interconnected. And so it is important that we are taking the time to take care of our health, our physical health, because it directly correlates to our mental health. So I'm so excited today that we have on here the chair yoga that's going to be taking place, as well as Prince George's County Rec Department. If you don't know about Prince George's County Rec Department, I personally use them all the time for everything from my own personal family, from Watkins Park, which is in my backyard, and I take advantage of all the outdoor things. But then internally, once we are able to open back up and get back in there, they have so many different wonderful services for ages, all the way from 0 all the way, well, not maybe 1 or 2, all the way up to 110. And so I encourage you to utilize everything from, they have campfire activities, hiking activities, and they have wonderful people who will talk you and walk you through all of those things. So that way you can get that physical health, which directly correlates to that mental health and mental well-being. And then last, certainly, but not least, really also taking time to take time for yourself and really making that time in that space, especially because we're in this place of a global pandemic. So what I tell everybody is, whatever you are experiencing, whether it's fatigue, tired, exhaustion, that's a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. And I'll say that again. That's a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. We are in a very abnormal situation. And so when you are experiencing those things, they are a normal reaction. And I encourage you to talk with your healthcare provider in terms of how to, work through that. But also I want to normalize that, to not feel like you need to still performing like you did a year ago today, because a year ago today, we weren't here. And so I want you to feel, to normalize that, so that way you understand and your clients understand, your patients, your customers understand that all of those things that they're having are normal reaction to an abnormal situation. And so without any further ado, I'm excited for the chair yoga. I have my bouncy chair, and I'm excited for Giant. I'm excited for Prince George's County. I'm so excited to hear all of the wonderful things and resources. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nikki. So without further ado, we'll go on in our agenda. And I'd like to introduce Lauren Sipe from the Department of Parks and Rec. Lauren, feel free to tell us a little bit about what you do for Parks and Rec, and lead us right into the activity. Lauren, I think you're on mute. I see you, and I see you in your chair.
Around 1 or 2?
Around 1 or 2, he started to get tired, and I was so worried with the baby and everything, his fever, so I made him pull over right away.
It came off, and then it came on and then went back off, Lauren.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Lauren Sipe, and before I tell you what I'm doing now, I just have to share a small world story. I don't know if Nikki Ham remembers me, but I was a school counselor with Prince George's County Public Schools, and she was my counselor specialist way back when. So it's good to see you. And I'm actually retired from Prince George's County Public Schools 2 years ago, and I have the pleasure of now working for Prince George's County Park and Rec in their therapeutic department as a yoga instructor. So yoga, I found when I worked in the public schools, was a great tool for stress reduction and just to be in the present moment. So this is really a pleasure for me. I also teach children and teens, and I also work for some nonprofits as well. So we're gonna just do just some simple chair yoga movements today, because I thought that was really helpful for everybody that's home. And yoga is something you can do at any time, at any moment. So I invite everybody to just close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. If not, just find a place to look at in front of you. And we're gonna just tune into our breath, because our breath is always with us, and it's a free tool that you can use all the time. So I'd like you to bring your attention to your breath. Maybe notice where your breath is in your body. And notice where you feel it. Is it in your stomach, your chest, your back? Everybody feels their breath in different places. Notice the temperature of your breath. Is it cool or warm? Or is it just there? Allow your body to do what it does naturally. This is a free stress reducer that we have. Become aware of any physical sensations that may be in your body at this moment. Any tingling, any emotions that might be coming up. As you take a big inhale, if you notice your stomach expanding, and notice as you exhale, if you feel your stomach relax. Notice any thoughts that you might be having, allow them and let them go. Bring your awareness back to your breath as you notice the inflow and the outflow. Slowly begin to open your eyes. And that was just to get you centered Your breath, I tell kids, is our superpower because it will empower us to either relax, to energize. So we're going to start off with a calming breath. And this is just so simple. If you bring your arms at your sides and you just inhale your arms up overhead, and then just slowly float them down with an exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms overhead, and then exhale them down. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms overhead, and exhale as you float them down. Now that can be a calming breath or an energizer. And now we're going to do 2 energizing breaths because this is sometimes the time of day where people start to get tired because maybe it's before lunch or after lunch. So the first one we're going to do has a little movement with it, and it's called conductor's breath. So you might just want to move up in your chair a little bit if you're sitting in a chair. And what we're going to do is with our arm movements, we're going to do 3 quick inhales and an exhale. So this is called conductor's breath, and you'll understand as we do it. So we'll raise our arms shoulder length with an inhale, another inhale out to the side, another inhale overhead, and then a big exhale as you bow forward. And then slowly come up. So we'll do that again, and you might feel a little bit of a head rush, so just slowly come back up if that happens again. So we'll do that again. 3 quick inhales and an exhale. So arms shoulder length, inhale, inhale out to the side, inhale overhead, and then exhale as you flow forward. And then slowly come back up. And let's do that one more time. Hopefully everybody's waking up. 3 quick inhales. Inhale, 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 exhale. And then slowly come up. So notice any sensations that might be coming in your body, maybe some tingling, maybe you're starting to feel energetic. And we'll do one more energizing breath. So this time we're just going to do 3 quick inhales, pause, and then exhale through our mouth. So we're going to do, here we go, 3 quick inhales. Inhale, 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 hold it, and then exhale through your mouth. Let's do that again. 3 quick inhales, pause, exhale. Inhale, 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 pause, and let it out your mouth. And then we'll do it one more time. Inhale, 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 pause, and then let it out through your mouth. And that's called energy breath. So again, instead of grabbing that cup of coffee, since you're talking about healthy habits here, maybe you'll want to try some of those energizing breaths. So let's get a little movement here. And we're going to just do some easy twists in our chair. Twists are very good for digestion, and they're also energizers. So we're going to inhale our arms up and then twist to the right. And then if you have a chair, maybe hold on to the back of the chair. If you don't, just bring your right hand on your hip and your left hand on your knee and just do an easy twist to the right. Sitting up nice and tall. And then inhale your arms back up and let's twist to the left. So either bringing the right hand on your left knee and then just bringing your back hand to the chair or your left hip. And let's come back to center. We'll just do an easy side to side. So bringing arms up and then twisting to the right, coming back to center and twisting to the left. Let's do that one more time. Arms up, twist to the right, arms up, and twist to the left. Excellent. We're going to do one of my favorite poses, and this is called cat-cow. And cat-cow is really nice because it is really good for your lower back and your spine. And again, this is something you can do just sitting in a chair when you're at your office. So it's really important in yoga and in life to sit up nice and tall, because a lot of us, we slouch over and we don't realize it, but when we slouch over, we restrict our breathing. So sitting up nice and tall is really important, and pulling your shoulders back. I tell my students to pretend they have a string, pulling them up from the top of their head, and that helps them to remember to have good posture. So with cat-cow, we do cow pose first. So we're going to bring our shoulders back and our chest forward, looking up. And then when we go to cat pose, we're going to round our back, looking down. So we'll come to cow, shoulders back, looking up. And when you come to your cat, you're just like a cat doing a stretch, rounding back, looking down. We're just going to go from cow, shoulders back, looking up, back to cat, rounding your back, looking down. And let's do that one more time. Cow pose, shoulders back, looking up, and then cat, rounding your back, looking down. Excellent. So another thing that is really good to do right now, everybody's home on their electronic devices, is making sure that your wrists and your hands and fingers are healthy. So we're going to just do some wrist circles. So just rolling them in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. And now we're going to do something called flicking. So we're going to make fists and then open our hands. Like spread your magic. Make fists, open your hands. And continue doing that. Fists open. And I hope you're breathing, remembering to breathe, taking deep breaths in and out. And we'll do one more of those. And then we'll bring our hands down. So I'm just doing a time check because I wasn't paying attention to what time I started. So I'm not sure how much time I have left. But I'll keep going until you cut me off. So maybe about 5 more minutes. So we'll just do some easy shoulder rolls. So let's bring our shoulders up to our ears and then bring them back. So just bringing them up and back. Remembering to breathe in and out as you do the movement. And then one more back. And now we're going to just go down and forward. Down and forward.
Oh.
And just one more. Excellent. And maybe just kind of shake it out a little bit. Shake it out from side to side. If we were standing, I'd have you do the washing machine. So we'll just kind of sway our arms from side to side. And that's another energizer.
I'm standing. Can you show me the wash machine?
The washing machine is just twisting from side to side, just kind of having your arms loosely. But if you were standing, you would just do it standing. So, but it's again, it's another energizer that wakes you up. And coming back to center, let's pretend we're climbing an invisible rope. So we're going to just pull up and down, up and down. This is a good shoulder stretch and good for your arms. Remembering to breathe in and out as you're linking breath with movement is all what yoga is about. And we'll do one more to each side. And then we'll bring our arms down. Now, if you can scoot up in your chair a little bit, so you're towards the front of the chair, we're going to do what's called a heart opener. So if you bring your arms behind you and hold on to the back of your chair, then you're kind of doing a stretch for your arms and opening up your chest. And if you don't have a back of your chair, you can just hold on to the very bottom, just so you're getting a nice stretch. And remembering to breathe. A lot of people hold their breath during these kind of poses. So just big breaths in and out. And then when you're ready, letting go. And we'll just do one more pose. I'm guessing I'm getting close to the end of my time, and I want to give you a little relaxation before I leave. The last pose we're going to do is called Sunbird. So maybe scooting back in your chair a little bit. And this is also using our brain as we're doing body movements. So we're going to lift our right leg and our left arm at the same time. So right leg and left arm, and then lower it. And left leg and right arm, and lower it. And we're just going to continue right leg, left arm, and left leg, right arm. And let's just do 2 more of those. Right leg, left arm, and lower. Right arm, left leg, and 1 more to each side. And lower. And now we're going to do just a final relaxation, because I'm guessing I'm getting towards the end of my time. And that's really important in yoga, is that we start with a centering, we do some movement, and then you get to relax at the end, which is usually people's favorite part. So again, I'd like you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. If not, just find a gazing place in front of you. And we're going to do something called a body scan, where you're going to bring mindful attention to each part of your body without moving the part. You're just going to be thinking about it and relaxing it. So starting with our feet, notice your feet. Maybe notice the surface that your feet are touching. Maybe notice the temperature of your feet. Let your toes relax and let your feet relax. Bring your attention to your ankles, to your calves, your knees, and your thighs. Let your legs become heavy. Relax. Notice your hips, your stomach, and your chest. Relax, relax. Notice your back resting against your chair. Feel how good it feels to be relaxed. Notice your shoulders melting down your back. Notice your neck, your face. Allow all the muscles in your face to relax. Let your whole body relax. Allow your mind to relax. Thoughts will come and go. Allow those thoughts. Notice them and let them go. Give yourself just a few minutes to relax. Bring your attention back to your breath. Begin to make small movements, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rolling out wrists and ankles, and maybe doing a full body stretch, maybe reaching arms up and down. And we'll end with 3 sun breaths. So let's inhale our arms up, and we're going to make a big sun. Feel the warmth. Bring your palms together and then bring them towards your heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Make your big, beautiful sun. Feel the sunlight. Palms together, hands to heart. And one more breath. Bring your arms up. Bring your palms together and bring your palms to your heart. Thank you for inviting me to join you today. I hope you enjoyed the yoga class. We say namaste. Have a nice day. And I hope you enjoyed all. You all enjoyed the quick yoga session?
Thank you so much, Lynn. I see positive comments, and let's get some applause or thumbs up if you feel better than you did about 15 or 20 minutes ago. I know that I'm feeling better already. That didn't even take that long. So thank you so much, Lauren. And if people want to learn more about yoga programming at PG Prince George's Parks, how can they find out about that?
So I know that they have on their website and the catalog, they have all the yoga program. I'm sure Anthony could answer more questions also.
All right. Well, thank you. And then thank you. We'll turn to Atunya. Feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us what you do for Parks and Rec, and then tell us some of the great resources with Prince George's Parks and Rec.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank Lauren one more time for that. That was absolutely amazing. My father often says, in this world of give and take, sometimes there are not enough people willing to give what it takes. It's always kind of a pleasure to be able to engage and be on a platform with others that give what it takes on a daily basis. So I bring you greetings from the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, the Department of Parks and Recreation, and here with the Youth and Countywide Sports Division, where I have the opportunity on a daily basis to serve as one of the assistant division chiefs and working closely with our sports programmers and also our permitting and field operations unit. So count it a pleasure today, and we want to give a shout out to Anthony for the invite for us to be able to share a little bit about not only just the department, but we have an opportunity to introduce you to really the newest division that was established for the Department of Park and Recreation, which is the Youth and Countywide Sports Division. I see some of my colleagues from the Youth and Countywide Sports Division are here as well, so definitely give them a shout out. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen and have a brief conversation in the discussion, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity for you to learn more a little bit about the Department of Parks and Recreation, and then specifically about the program offerings from the Youth and Countywide Sports Division. Let's see here.
I'm just continuing to extend Lauren's exercise of deep breaths.
Go. Let's see if that's going to come up for us here. And is everybody able to view that?
Yes.
All right, cool. So once again, thank you for your time today, and just want to use a couple moments to be able to introduce you to the newest division within the Department of Parks and Recreation. So today our game plan and kind of they'll be able to guide us is this is an introduction to the Youth and Countywide Sports Division, to be able to discuss the core components of the Youth and Countywide Sports Division, YCSD, as we use internally. Talk about some of our program opportunities and connect it to those program opportunities to be able to discuss some of those programs that we've been able to leverage in a COVID environment and our response to COVID-19 to be able to still continue to engage with our community. And then going to spend a good part of the time that we have to engage to talk about Game On. So Game On is our youth sports strategic plan that we're currently in the planning process that we started last fall, and it will continue through about the midpoint of this year. So definitely I want to share some information about that and hopefully be able to have a little bit of call to action that you would be able to circle back and share that within your network for engagement. So with that said, once again, I'm happy to be able to share this information today and share this discussion on behalf of our division chief, Tommy Palucci. Once again, my name is Atuya Cornwell. Also, Katrina Williams, who serves as Assistant Division Chief and our Health and Wellness Officer. And I think Katrina has definitely probably been a part of this platform in previous occasions. So she's like my co-pilot. So happy to be here to represent them two, along with also our Administrative Supervisor, Renita Potts. So when we talk about the Youth and Countywide Sports Division and why was this division implemented and to put in place, I'm just going to share this purpose: to deliver to county residents a seamless, easy access, one-stop experience for youth sports, including program registration, athletic permitting, access to public and private programs and information on those programs, camps and clinics, as well as access to public facilities for youth sports teams. So that's kind of the purpose of the Youth and Countywide Sports Division. And once again, we are now probably a little bit over a year for fully operating at this time. For some of y'all that have some knowledge of our previous division and the workings of some of our divisions with the Department of Parks and Recreation. So we came out of the original Sports Health and Wellness Division, the Sports Health and Wellness Division. So now that division has been split up into two divisions. So our counterpart in our sister division is the Aquatics and Athletic Facilities Division, which is led by Tara Stewart. So with that division, you have your golf courses, your ice rinks, their tennis facilities, their indoor-outdoor aquatic facilities, Prince George's Sports and Learning Complex, Fairland, also the Prince George's County Trap and Ski Center. So those are the key areas and the facilities within that division. And today, once again, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the Youth and Countywide Sports Division, which encompasses youth sports programming, also adult sports programming, athletic field permitting, our health and wellness team and initiatives to come from that unit, as well as our two facilities that we have. It's the Sugar Ray Leonard Boxing Center. We've never had an opportunity to go to that historical location. When we do get back to the opportunity to be able to reopen that facility, definitely you have a standing invite to come see that amazing location. And also the Prince George's Stadium, which is also considered the Bay Sox Stadium. And just a little insight. So when we were in the Sports Health and Wellness Division, we had 14 career positions. Now we've been able to grow to 24 total positions in the newly formed division. And that's this collection of sports programmers, health and wellness coordinators. I know like Yolanda is on here right now. And so these team members collectively really on a daily basis operate and function and be able to bring quality programming and experience to our youth as well as adults here in Prince George's County. So the core components of the Youth and Countywide Sports Division, sports programming, athletic field permitting, and health and wellness. Briefly discuss these a little bit in depth. So sports programming and athletic field permitting. So really the goals and really connected to a lot of the main mission of the division and its establishment. Create and maintain a central database and website for all sports organizations, leagues, boys and girls clubs, and teams. Really diversifying and expanding the sports programming brands that we facilitate from a department standpoint, from the division standpoint, across the county, to also include those collegiate scholarship sports. So for example, really connecting one initiative that we're working on now is to be able to expand and really introduce volleyball. And really get that on a recreational level to introduce and prepare our youth to be prepared for the sport of volleyball. We've also had an opportunity where we've been able to grow and bring forth a recreational lacrosse program. So this spring, we'll be expanding that initiative to our girls lacrosse program as well. Also, creating and maintaining those close partnerships with youth sports organizations, colleges, and universities. We're so fortunate to be in the geographical area that we're in, from area universities to the professional sports teams that we have here, to really be able to leverage those partnerships and bring quality experiences across the board. The last key goal to centralize and streamline the scheduling of our athletic field. So once again, the field and permitting operation unit falls within our division. So that's the booking of the rectangle fields within our park, the softball diamond fields, the tennis courts. Also, we have a process of when we have access to some indoor gymnasium from the school system. Our turnkey operation falls within this division, and then within this work program within these units. Our health and wellness team, which does phenomenal work, and my colleague, Katrina Williams, leads that unit. So really leading off on a mission of creating healthy communities through people, parks, and programs by offering family-oriented and culturally informed health, nutrition, exercise programs, educational opportunities to work together to improve the quality of life for all Prince George's County residents. Key goals for them: develop and implement health and wellness programs and initiatives that are culturally competent and diverse, promote a healthy lifestyle for residents, connects residents to parks through programs, initiatives, outreach events, etc. So from those yoga in the parks to those healthy trail opportunities, those dine and learn opportunities, also in this virtual space, and I'll talk a little bit about it later on, but the Wellness Wednesdays, this unit really does a phenomenal job of engaging with our community and providing those opportunities. And I'm always this in awe and really popping the collar of my colleagues in the health and wellness unit, and have a pleasure to serve with them. So what have we been able to do in this environment, you know, as it relates to the COVID-19 and really, of course, with a lot of our indoor facilities, when we go way back to March, towards the end of March of 2020, you know, having to close an operation. In the fall of 2020, we were able to receive approval through our department leadership, and our programmers, health and wellness side, as well as our sports programmers, did a phenomenal job to develop some modified opportunities for our community to be able to come back in a safe environment for outdoor programming. And some of those programs have been yoga in the parks, fitness in the parks, the boot camps, the walk with ease, some grab and go opportunities as well. From the sports side, we were able to implement some baseball classes, some cross-country meets that we hosted at Sports and Learning Complex. Lacrosse, we had some engagement, as well as soccer, futsal, softball, and volleyball. And these opportunities were facilitated in the fall, and had to pre-register, you know, limited amount of participants. And we are happy that, you know, we were able to facilitate those in a safe manner and successful manner, and really provided a quality experience for the participants, and really gave them a way to get back out and connect and stay connected to some of the activities that they love and enjoy. We are happy to be able to share that we are going to be able to facilitate some of these programs moving forward in the spring months. And we also have a couple of these going on right now. So we have our higher interval training course out at Woodmore Town Center on Saturdays. Is currently going on in the winter months. So we also have lacrosse going on, and the drop-in of soccer. Of course, with the winter months, we kind of have to play it by ear with the weather, or when we have some of the beautiful snow that we had. But these activities are currently going on, and then in the spring, really about that mid-March, we'll kind of see these really kicking back up. As it relates to our athletic field permitting office, they've been able to provide access to user groups for those low and medium risk sports that has been identified by the Maryland Sports Commission. So those activities we've been able to facilitate, run those for practice, instruction, and then for some of those low to medium risk sports, there have been some activities for some games. So we've continued to be able to provide that opportunity in a safe environment for a select amount of our fields across the county. Currently, our outdoor natural turf fields are closed for seasonal maintenance. They'll open back up April 1, but we do have access to the turf field sites that user groups can continue to utilize here in the winter months. Also, just to be able to kind of circle back on, we have been definitely proud of the virtual opportunities we've been able to leverage during this time. So two key opportunities that I would like to share, and they continue to be, and you can check them out via our online resource center by going to pgparks.com. And then also, if you go to YouTube, you can go to the Department of Parks and Recreation YouTube page. But from Technique Tuesday from our sports team, as well as Wellness Wednesdays. So having opportunities where instructors, similar to what the activity we just had facilitated earlier by Lauren, to be able to, from a safe environment from home, to continue to stay engaged, stay connected to activities from a fitness side as well as a sports side. From the sports side, we've been able to leverage some lacrosse trainings, volleyball techniques. Currently, we're in the series of softball as well. So please definitely, this is a resource to be able to check out and be able to stay connected to some activities that you love that provide a very healthy and a fitness opportunity from home. So as well as to be able to highlight for my health and wellness team, able to transition some of their programming, in-person programs to virtually, for example, the Healthy Trails 5K and the Dine, Learn, and Move activities that they facilitate. And so I kind of come towards, I just want to be able to share a little bit more details and really kind of the meat of our discussion today is to be able to talk about Game On. So Game On is the title of our youth sports strategic plan for the county. We're currently working in conjunction with our youth sports strategic consultant, Barry Dunn, and they are really focusing on several key areas as it relates to youth sports, user engagement, athletic permitting, marketing and outreach, program services, partnerships and resource development, infrastructure planning, and the development of overall, all this work will lead to, it'll be a recommendation for a draft of the vision of youth sports and a youth sports strategic plan that we can be able to help foster and carry out for years to come. With that said, in the fall months, we were able to have several engagements with user groups from sports organizations to different focus groups that the challenging part of this, of course, is, traditionally in a non-COVID environment, we would have been able to engage and have a lot of these activities connected with leagues and sports components that we would be facilitating out in public. However, we've been able to engage virtually, and it's been a really good opportunity to get a lot of good feedback from our community and have input. And with that said, I definitely want to be able to share this landing page. And you can also access this landing page via pgparks.com, and you will be able to access the Game On component there. But as this opens up, and this is kind of that call of action piece that I would request and hope that you will be able to share with your networks. Gives a little bit of information about Game On and really the driving force and the movement that we're having with this and the participation, but really calling upon our communities to add their voice and provide feedback on their experiences, from even our youth participants being able to go on and share their feedback, as well as our adults, from a coach's perspective, from being a parent or guardian of a participant in any of our sports programs. And also this is the experience as it relates to our facilities. So this is a landing page that, even beyond those virtual focus groups that I talked about, and we'll have a couple more of those that will be leveraged on this page in the future. At any time, you come take a couple minutes and provide that feedback. And not only providing feedback of the programs that the community might engage, some Department of Parks and Recreation programs, but just other sporting programs and opportunities that they've had the opportunity to be a part of in Prince George's County. So once again, I invite everybody to take a peek at that page and leverage that and hopefully share that with your network to provide some feedback. So I'm going to stop sharing here. Let's see, we'll go back. And also just wanted to identify some of those resources. I know after we had our activity earlier, somebody asked about how to register from some of these programs. Definitely pgparks.com. And also we talked about the Wellness Wednesday and the Technique Tuesday. Online Resource Center is a phenomenal location to be able to engage with those. Parks Direct is where you would be able to register for some of those programs, not just those programs facilitated by the Youth and Countywide Sports Division, but our colleagues across the department. And in the spring, I think we'll see a lot of more virtual opportunities that will be leveraged there as well. Department of Park and Recreation YouTube page, as well as being able to stay connected to the Game On process, pgparks.com, Game On plan, participate. With that said, I'm going to stop sharing and we'll come back here.
All right. Thank you so much, Atuya. And I hope you don't mind, we're sharing your info on here along with the resources, and we can get these slides out to folks, if you wouldn't mind sending us your slides so we
Absolutely.
can share those with our deck.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for your time today.
Thank you. And so let's move on to our next presenter, Leslie Jefferson, nutritionist at Giant Food. Feel free to tell us a little bit about what you do at Giant and how sunshine and vitamin D helps us in these dark winter months.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Allison. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's so, the yoga and learning about the team sports and the kids is great. So if you didn't know, I see some friendly faces on the call. Giant has nutritionists that's available free of charge to help you with your wellness programming. And we are happy to do it with videos or classes or one-on-one consults with your participants. And we're happy to help at any time. So they've asked me to talk about vitamin D. So I'm going to do the also fun sharing of the screen. So let's get that out of the way. And as we wait for the screen to come up, it is just an important way to get our vitamin D in. So let's see, here we go. So vitamin D is so important in our diet, and talking about food and your mood and all that's been going on, if you're not able to get outside like you're used to, or things have changed for you in the way that you're exercising and moving, you know, vitamin D is an important vitamin in our diet. So our new normal means less work, working and moving around. Our normal reaction to life has changed. So all that little bit that you used to do where you walked to your car, or you went to the metro, or you did all that little walking and moving, we're not doing that anymore. So we have less time outside, more time on the couch. So vitamin D, though, is very important for our mood and the way our body responds. So I want to be mindful of time. And why do we need vitamin D? So we need vitamin D because it helps to boost our mood, and it really helps regulate our hormones. So vitamin D, even though we call it vitamin D, it is essentially what is called a pro-hormone. So it does a lot of work in the body, and it helps us to fight depression and keep our moods in check, regulating a lot of our feel-good hormones like serotonin and dopamine and adrenaline. So I like for you to just take a moment when you say, how do these hormones really affect me? I hear all about these hormones. But think about, I like to pull out dopamine. It's our reward system hormone. So if you have that moment and you have that piece of chocolate, if you're a chocolate lover, and you have that chocolate and you take that first bite and you go, wow, this is so good. That's a dopamine spike. That's your hormones telling you, wow, I'm really enjoying this. And then sometimes we eat a lot of chocolate and all of a sudden we're like, woo, I shouldn't have eaten all that. That's a dopamine dip. So you have a spike and you can have a dip. So vitamin D is very important in helping our body synthesize different hormones. And we all know vitamin D is important for our bones. And it also helps with our weight. So sometimes it's found that vitamin D can be very impactful on obesity and cardiovascular health. And in this time of COVID, we want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves healthy. And vitamin D is vital for immunity because over 1 billion people are deficient in vitamin D. And it's the largest deficiency of all of the vitamins. So it's important to our overall health that we make sure we get our vitamin D in. So, vitamin D is, I call it the mystical vitamin because, it is more than a vitamin, but mainly we hear about it for bone health, right? We say, oh, I need calcium. Well, we need calcium, yes, but vitamin D overall helps our body to absorb the calcium. So you need the vitamin D first so that your body can take in and utilize the calcium that you're getting from the food. And we get our vitamin D from a variety of ways from food, but ultimately, what makes our body so fantastic is that our bodies actually create the vitamin D from the sun. So it comes in through the skin, and then there's so many different parts of our bodies that go into creating that vitamin D. So the skin, mainly the kidneys have a huge role in creating vitamin D, and then our gut, our digestive tract. So making sure we're getting in good vegetables throughout the day to make sure our digestive tract is on track to create some of those hormones that we need. So just how much do we need? Many of us are, taking some sort of supplement to, help to boost our vitamin D. But overall, we need at least 600 to 800 IUs. Fancy word, right? International units. Some of us may be given a prescription from the doctor for a huge number of IUs to help us catch up. But just each day, 600 to 800 IUs. Now, it can get a little confusing when we're talking about food because our food labels indicate vitamin D in micrograms. So 600 to 800 IUs will equal about 15 to 20 micrograms a day. And there are two types of vitamin D. So we get vitamin D2 from our fortified foods. So think of fortified milk, our cereals, things like that, and plants. So we can get some vitamin D from certain plants. And then we have vitamin D3 from some foods from animals and our sunshine. So let's take a look at how you can determine from the food label if you're getting enough vitamin D from the foods that you're eating. Now, the interesting thing about food labels is they try to keep them up with the time. So if you notice, our vitamin D is not listed on the old food label. No more, that's gone. We now have vitamin D on the new nutrition facts label because they recognize that it's a huge deficiency for most people. So if you notice here, our vitamin D, 2 micrograms in this particular product. So this is how you can keep track of how much vitamin D you're getting into the foods that you're eating. And you may notice that some of the foods that you're eating do not have any vitamin D. So let's look at some of the top 3 places that you can grab some vitamin D. So the number 3 source is your fortified foods. And generally from these foods, you could get about 10%, 25% of your recommended allowance of vitamin D. And that comes from foods like dairy. You could get it from kefir. It could either be made with goat milk. It's kind of like a yogurt. It's a fermented product. But generally, you may not get a lot of vitamin D from yogurt itself. So if you're eating a lot of yogurt, trying to get your vitamin D, and you may get some calcium, but vitamin D, it kind of messes up, if it's fortified, it messes up the consistency of your yogurt. So it's usually in a liquid form. You may find it in cereal. So you'll get it from fortified cereals and other non-dairy beverages. So just read your food label, look for those micrograms, and see how much vitamin D you're getting per serving. So a way to get it in, it's cold outside, you can make a nice vanilla chai latte at home. You could, take a little bit of almond milk or soy milk, regular milk, and just with some tea, some vanilla, and have a nice chai latte. That's a good way to get some vitamin D in. And the number 2 source, mushrooms and eggs. So mushrooms are very interesting because they're grown in the dark. So they actually have like special lights. So that light kind of mimics that sunshine. So the skin of the mushroom kind of acts just as our skin would. So you could get some vitamin D from your mushrooms. And if you don't like mushrooms, raw or cooked, you could get like a mushroom soup, or try to integrate them differently into your day. Also, egg yolks. Fantastic way, eggs and egg yolk are easy way to get in different forms of vitamin D throughout the day, even in your breakfast or as a snack. They're a great way to get, you can even combine them together in an omelet. That's a vitamin D packed meal. If you think about breakfast, it's a great place where you could get a lot of vitamin D in. So we have a portobello mushroom cap with egg. I mean, you could put this in the oven, make them in advance. If you don't like sunny side up, scramble them up. You can even add different things to it if you like, season it the way you want, add some peppers and onions. And then it's an easy way to have food that's available. You can keep these in the fridge and pop it back in the microwave when you're ready. So that's your meal planning too. All right, the number one source. Number one is fatty fish. Fatty fish. So when you get the fatty fish, it's your salmon and your tuna and all of those wonderful items that you can have. Either way you'd like to have them, they are a great source of vitamin D. So you can make a salmon rice bowl. So a salmon rice bowl is something that you can make. Fill it up with already cooked rice, pop that in the microwave, and you've got a quick snack, lunch, or dinner. But sunshine is always the best way. And even though it's cold outside, we don't have as much sunshine, try to get some in, get your face and arms exposed when possible so that you could get that sunshine in and get that body synthesizing that vitamin D. And you can always make a treat for your mood too. So there's nothing wrong with having a little fun. All the recipes that I've mentioned here at giantfood.com/recipes. There's a great recipe database. Oops. And you can always reach us anytime. You can hit us up on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. You can go to giantfood.com/nutrition to sign up for free classes. And if you just want to reach out to me, you can send me a note at lesliejefferson@giantfood.com. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to stop sharing. And I hope that was helpful.
Thank you so much to all of our presenters. Unfortunately, we don't have time for Q&A, but we do want to share a couple of resources. I'll turn it to Adeline to share those. And we want to see how we did. This is kind of our first time using this format with the activity and the presenters. So we have a poll here, and we would love to learn what you thought of the webinar by the poll. So thank you so much. Once again, if you have questions, you can email the presenters directly or reach out to Adeline or myself. I apologize we didn't have time for the Q&A, but I loved all the information that was shared. We are going to get the webinar on our website, and if we're able to get approval to share the slides, we will send all the slides out and with those websites and resources. So thank you so much. Please fill out our poll. Tell us how familiar are you with Giant and Parks and Rec, and tell us, did that change from before the presentation? And any last words from Anthony? You were key in pulling our folks together.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Leslie and Lauren and Atuya for coming out today and sharing information. It's great to have new voices. Leslie, you've been around for a while, but it's wonderful to give you some time to really share what you do on a daily basis. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And if you have ideas for future presentations, future panels, feel free to put it in the chat or reach out to Adeline or myself or Anthony. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. I know I feel refreshed and I'm gonna go outside this afternoon just for a little walk. I'm inspired. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.